What's up, traders? Austin Silver here with another daily recap for you. I'm trying to do these more often when I've got something to talk about, something to learn. Today, I just want to tell you first, before we get into this recap, I'm dropping a really important podcast tomorrow. It's episode 121 of the Day Trading Show. It's part two of two. Episode 120 was the intro. I sat down with one of our Black Shirt Club members, Zach, who's up over 12K this year in futures payouts, and another one of our Black Shirt Club members, Andrew, who's one of the newer guys, still working on his first combine. And of course, my co-host, Evan, joins me. And I think you really are going to love this podcast because we talk about the futures versus the CFDs, all the prop firm drama, and most importantly, how to get paid out as a futures trader. So everyone's going to have to see this. You guys are going to love it. That comes out tomorrow, like I said, Friday morning. Now, next weekend, 420, we're not going to be token up. I'm having a webinar with DarwinX's CEO, Juan Colon. Juan is actually coming out on the podcast next week as well. And then we'll follow that podcast with this webinar on 420 on Saturday. We're actually going to bring in one of their top traders as well. And we're going to talk to DarwinX about what it's like to be a trader who is trying to attract investors. So stay tuned for that because I think some of you guys will really like that as well. Now, you'll see today, down 156 on the XFA, but a tough day, honestly. Just 6 trades, really slugged it out here with ES. And I'm going to go through them one by one. But before we do that, I want to do like a big picture kind of overview with you guys of the day. The essence of what I want to get across in this video is a couple of things. Number one, you've heard me say before, I don't want to be short unless we break the previous day's low. And I broke that rule today, and it spent my mental capital, which is annoying. And I think that's one of the lessons I want you guys to take from me is spending the money on a trade is one thing, but spending mental capital is something that people aren't talking about enough. And I think because I broke my rule, because I was trading smaller today, trading micros to start this XFA, I allowed myself, because of the small size, to bend the rule and say, I'll still take shorts, even though it doesn't fit the mold of breaking the previous day's low. So what we're looking at here, boxed off at the bottom, is yesterday, Wednesday's low at 51.78, roughly 51.80, we'll call it. You can see this morning, right before market open at 8 o'clock, 8:15, we drop into that zone. Price falls from about 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. down into that price zone. It doesn't break. It holds, and we bounce at the 8:30 news. That 8:30 news then sends us to a new high of day. And you can see I came in and started trading after the news. So we're going to take it to a 1-minute time frame so I can show you all these executions. So we'll see, first, I buy it here off of the daily VWAP. That's the black line here. I'm trying to catch a bounce as we move higher, hopefully after this news this morning sends us higher. I also would have a high of day VWAP on here. So you could say I was a little apprehensive, a little early to jump in before that is broken. As you can see, it is never broken, which would signal that buyers are taking control. So I was definitely a little bit early, but I washed that trade quickly, as you can see right here. As we broke the daily VWAP, you can see my exit execution arrows right there. So I washed that trade, take a small loss, and that's what starts the day. I then jumped in short here because of the acceleration that we can see through that daily VWAP. On top of that, I had a CPI VWAP, if we go back to yesterday, go back to Wednesday where we had the CPI, put a VWAP on there, and you'll see we slid through that VWAP as well in purple now. So with the long not working and it breaking the daily and it's sliding through that CPI VWAP with momentum, that's what got me short. And as you can see, I closed that short down here at 51.88. So now I lost a long and I made some money on a short. I'm still down on the day, but I'm making that back. I could have made a little bit more if I would have just held into the bottom of the zone. So could have done better there. But then I get in long here. And this is going to be the entry that I should have stayed in all day. You can see I bought 2 contracts at 51.90. 51.90, everybody. Look where we finished the day. 52.43. The highest we went is 52.57. Just a 70-point almost move, 65-point move from my entry there. So I buy it on the bottom. And the reason I buy it on the bottom is because the long did not work here. So I'll try again on the second long here. 2 times, same direction, same asset. Now I'm buying it with a stop loss at about 13 or 14 points at like 51.70, 51.75, something like that. I can pull up the exact markup if you look right here. Nope, sorry, that's the short. Here's the long. You can see long here, 12 or 13 point stop at 51.77, bottom of the zone. And then you can see I exit that trade, not even at a full 1R, about 8 points in profit as we reject the daily VWAP right there. There's that exit. You see the exit arrow. Then, and this is where the shorts start to come in, which is stupid. Then I jumped in short. Let me erase this. Then I jumped in short here. at 51. What is the price there? 51.97. I take that short, but I close the short, thankfully, right here before it hits full stop loss. So then I'm out of my short because why? We broke the daily VWAP, tested it, and started to bounce away. So longs are taking control, and I decide to get in long. Now you can see this is where me not taking full 1R losses, I'm not even down $300 at this point, right? Like it's not a big loss today. So I'm still going to keep playing because we're only playing with a couple $100, playing with micros, no big deal. We finally catch the move up, moving into profit nicely. First one of the day that's finally working for me. I take one of the contracts off here because I can start to feel that I'm getting impatient. The mental capital is getting spent. I'm getting tired of being in trades. I'm getting phone calls from my mom. She's busy and needs help with stuff, and I'm helping her out. Some of you know I've been helping her out since my dad passed. So busy with that, and that's spending mental capital. But it's not moving lower. So I'm like, okay, it's not moving lower. We look like we can go higher. I've got a high of day zone right here in blue. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, maybe we're going to have an issue with high of day. Maybe we're going to come away from it. So when I see it hit this level 3 times, 1, 2, 3 times, you can see I closed the rest of the long trade right there. Literally 1 minute before it takes off. 60 seconds more of patience and I would have been in it for the move that I needed to end the day even, not down. I had my stop loss locked too. So there was no reason to get aggressive to get out of the trade other than my own mental capital being spent. And that should be the title of this video, is mental capital is spent. And honestly, I knew as soon as it moved up like this, I'm like, I could just fucking buy it right now and I'll make some money. But that's not my trade. So I didn't. And I could feel that I was frustrated. I could feel that I was spent. So I walked off and I missed the whole move to the upside. And honestly, I'm not really mad about me missing the move to the upside. I'm more mad that I couldn't wait one more fucking minute to get that trade moving into profit and just continue to trail the stop as I was. If I would have just trailed the stop, because the entry is down here. There's the entry. So I could have easily brought the stop up to this pin and trailed it there, right? As it moved up. Then when it moved higher, brought the stop up to the breakout here. And then when it moved higher, brought the stop up here, right? And you could have keep trailing it until you bring it up to here, and then you get tapped out here at 51.50. And that was how I should have managed that last trade. So if you look in my notebook, in my daily report card here, I literally got markups of everything. I got markups of this, LOL, right? I've got markups of the full long trade here. Still got another LOL in there. But what I decided to do was sit down and really review it. And at the end of the day, I think this was the best entry. If I would have been able to hold this trade from the bottom of the range to the top of the range, from the 51.90 to the 52.20, that would have been a 30-point move. Happy days, easy money. Whether I get in and get out like I did multiple times, I've got to be able to see that full move when we are trading in a range like this. And I think inside bar days, range days are typically the toughest days for traders. So it's a tough day for anybody. And I know a lot of guys are getting chopped around, but I think if you take anything from this, number one, take mental capital being spent is something to be thinking about. Take that we don't want to be short on the indices, especially ES and NASDAQ, unless we break the previous day's low. Just stay long or stay cash. If I would have not traded those shorts after the first loss on the long and then after the winning long, if I would have just not been able to entertain the shorts at all, just don't even think about it, I would have been more focused on continuing to try to buy throughout the day. I would have had more mental capital and I probably would be at break even or profitable today. That's it. Quick, easy. I just want you to see my takeaways, my thoughts on how to make money today. After that news, after the pullback, specifically after the hold of yesterday's low. That's the signal to stay looking for longs today. I hope this helps. Drop a heart, retweet if you don't mind. I really appreciate it. Tell me in the comments what you think. And make sure you guys tune in to the podcast tomorrow, episode 121 of the Day Trading Show. Adios. Thanks for watching.